The gift of a projector is the mastery of how systems work. The big picture view, some people are more big picture than others. It really depends on the specifics of the design. So most of the time you'll find a projector working its way up through the ranks from the ground up to know a business inside and out, and then rising up to management, because they are designed to be able to get sometimes catapulted into positions of power or leadership or authority or success, depending upon what their specific design is. They really need to be able to do the job first or experience it first in order to know that business, that system like the back of their hand, so that they can manage or guide or advise other people in it. So through the process of studying it, mastering it, they have to understand the responsibilities. Ideally, the role of a projector is to be able to be the advisor who can guide, direct words from Ra, the advisor who can guide. And so they're guiding the use of energy, particularly the generative auric frequency field that is here to build the world. Projector and generator work hand in hand. It's one of the most productive relationships that you can have. And this is the fundamental truth of what they are. Being a projector in relational dynamic with lots of generators over not only my life, but my career, I can attest from experience, particularly when you're working with the right people, how very life-giving and life-affirming that relationship can be. And when you're not working with the right people, how very embittering and painful that incorrectness or misaligned interaction can be. Now, ideally, projectors are here to guide one person at a time. They're here to help others succeed one person at a time. The reason for that is their aura can only focus and penetrate and absorb one person at a time, even if they happen to be somebody like me who has the role in a group that is able to hold some position of leadership. So the fact is that as a projector, you're automatically equipped for management, quote unquote Ra. Now, that's not to say there is an entitlement to the way in which you're here to interface with others. You've got to be able to learn from the ground up, and we could say earn or build that trusted support and respect between you and the other, because they recognize your system's mastery. That's the whole thing to understand about projectors and the way that they're here to be. So when you're dealing with a projector, you're looking at somebody who needs to be focused on study and education. You add that to a first line quality, either the way that they're personally or bodily designed to function. Now you have some really strong repeating patterns of somebody who has to be able to get in on the ground floor and work their way up, always with an eye for management skills, people skills, soft skills. So you see them in a lot of careers that happen to be from astrology to psychology, any kind of management. You're looking at people who love systems. I mean, like kid in a candy store when it comes to different kinds of systems of understanding people particularly. That's not to say that all projectors are great at people skills. Sometimes they might be completely antisocial and they're really into some particular way of understanding the world. Okay, and that's all right too. But whether they ever become good managers or not, focusing them on their interdependent people skills is something that's going to be of great value and benefit to a projector, because it's one of the most important attributes that a projector has, particularly when it comes to the successful functionality of any business or organization or team as a whole. So the projectors who are involved in the business or career world, this is always a good opportunity when you see them to help encourage them, recognize them, and help them foster or develop their talent in whatever it is that makes their soul sing. The way that I like to say it is their soul sing, because yeah, it moves together. But whatever it is that lights you up inside, be it business or babies or cake making or bookkeeping. It doesn't matter. That thing that you could study that engages, captures not only your interest, but your passion, your aliveness, your vitality, what you recognize that you can master, the thing, I used to call it the thing that you could do all day, as far as your energy availability. Maybe overdoing it a little bit with this focused and penetrating auric frequency field. It's so easy to recognize a projector who's not operating in alignment because they feel really uncomfortable when they're trying to get in there and know who you are. It can feel like you're being violated by a projector who's like just asking you questions. Interrogated is another way that it can show up. Really uncomfortable, particularly people. I'm thinking of a generator, emotional, who had two self-projected projector parents who told me this story about both of them kind of grilling her in an attempt to try and get her to do something, be something, go somewhere, just the projector, when it doesn't know when enough is enough, can be invasive, you could say, almost like a parasite, like just hooking in and grabbing on and not letting go. And they've got to get really careful about who they're interacting with and when. Right timing is everything for the focused, penetrating, absorbing aura to engage or investigate. The way that a projector is designed to focus, penetrate, and absorb is in these one-on-one situations deep into the other being, where I would say something like, hold on to that monopole, So part of this is the way in which the projector is here to access energy or to be able to guide the energy because they're non-energy types, even though they might still have energy centers. Being a non-energy type means that the consistent access to the generation of energy is not there alone, nor the manifestation of energy. And even if you are connected up with another projector like yourself, two undefined sacral center beings coming together do not make a generator nor manifesting generator. It's like comparing a motorboat to a jet airplane. It's just not the same. So what this kind of design gives you is a very special advantage where your ability to focus, penetrate, and absorb into the other leads to your potential capacity to be able to recognize aspects or qualities about the other that can be encouraged, that can be nurtured, that can be supported, empowered, shared, protected, that can be advantaged or leveraged or taken advantage of. Now, the real crux of the matter is a projector that is unaware tends to take on the other person's energy and identify with it as self rather than being clearly in recognition of what's mine and what's theirs, what's ours and what's theirs. And so when you overdo it by using up their energy or amplifying and in distortion, burning yourself out or running down many different paths that are actually not correct for you, you do damage to your physical body, especially to your form principle. So that's why Ra would say to the projectors, be the guide. Do not accept anything less than a formal invitation to the big things in life. This aura is designed to absorb. It has no filter when it's absorbent of the other person. And that's why it's so important to discern. So not only do you take energy in through your focus, your availability, this keeps you in an incredibly vulnerable state. My mind is like going back to movies and how if you think of one, let me know as an example, but if you were a creature that was vulnerable just in the moment of hooking in, or like as a spaceship, maybe you're hanging on to the mothership, but because you've got your arm out, the arm that's reaching out to hold on to that mothership, now that arm is vulnerable. I'm thinking mechanical arm if you're a ship and that's a mothership. Mechanical arm is vulnerable because you are focused in and you're penetrating and you're just hanging on. And there's that vulnerability of taking on the other. When is it correct for you to hang on or to hold on? Sometimes we don't know when to let go. Sometimes through letting the mind run the show, you take on other people's ambitions or their promises and you think you have to do the work all by yourself and you get overzealous and you burn yourself out rather than facilitating other people's success. So it's kind of like being the advisor behind the throne. Now, I've got a couple of different activations that speak to that. I'm a 7, no 31. I'm a 21, no 45. So I really like that, making the other person the star, the hero in their own movie. This truly is the way to success for a projector, because it's not me, it's them. I'm just shining a spotlight on them. So this makes for a projector. Not all projectors, but most of the time, projectors are the ideal, there we go. Projectors are the ideal alphas in a group. These are the people who are designed to be alphas. Even if they don't have the alpha channel, design of leadership for good or bad, they are designed to be the people who are in charge through interdependency. So think like Knights of the Round Table. Because the projector is the ideal being to be responsible for guiding, whether this is a manager, a team leader, or what Ra would call the alpha one in a large business. If you start to go into WA mechanics or OC16, you learn what that term is. That is, in terms of if we lived in a perfect world, the natural role for a projector to take is in the new era, the new age, is that the basic gift of a projector is to be able to focus on the other person, one person at a time. This is where your power lies because your aura has a deep impact on the other. And what that also means is that you lose power and create negative situations if you attempt to insert yourself into situations that are not right for you. So you're not a projected small group projector, and you try to take the reins or take the helm of a small business without being formally recognized and invited into it, you are going to do yourself a great disservice and put yourself into all kinds of pain and punishment, because you lose power and you create negative situations when you try to be in charge of or instruct in person, mind you, more than one person at a time. Your aura simply cannot focus on more than one person at a time. So because your aura can't take everyone in, what happens is everybody is a little bit suspicious or envious or jealous or whatever negativity comes up for them in relational dynamic to you not focusing on them. And this is a very challenging thing that you have to experience in person truly to understand or to recognize, to get grok or grasp how this works. Just practice, experiment, and see. Ultimately, the ultimate role of a projector is to be a reliable guide. So whether you call it coaching or consulting or as a therapist or as a leader or as a mentor, guide, whatever it happens to be, this is the deepest skill. Sometimes they can be great administrators, think 6th line, to be able to understand how to manage or manipulate the energy of others for the best of all involved. That means win-win situations, success all around. That is the ideal for a projector, to understand how to influence others in that way because they have had the ability to master their human environment. That's the most important thing. Ultimately, a projector is looking for a perfect penta. This does not mean all of those people are in aura at the same time, but generally, one projector, 4 generators. Okay, 4 generators makes a perfect penta. If we were talking about in person, those would be your generators that you're working with, maybe one person at a time. They come into, your office one at a time. You tell the lead generator, you interface with them, the vision maybe, and they have the power to go out there and tell everybody else, but you're not the one doing the work. Because you are designed to recognize and guide through knowing others, it's about facilitating them, encouraging them, supporting them through your recognition capacity of what lights the other person up or what they're truly here for, because you can recognize what the other person needs and what not to do potentially in order to fall into the trap of any shadows or distortions, because you are here to see things clearly. Now, that doesn't mean you can run around trying to tell everybody what you see. It still has to be a function of correct aligned interaction, because the moment that you attempt to initiate, particularly if you've got an undefined throat, got an unconscious throat, the undefined throat, this is a real big bugaboo for you, in that the bitterness of a projector who is not recognized. Let's say you're a manager and you don't get recognized for the work that you're doing. You don't get the bonus. You don't get the raise. You don't get the promotion. You can go nuts from that and attempt to try harder to be seen, and then it just backfires like nobody's business. Nobody suffers more than the projector in the business environment when they are not recognized and they are not being rewarded, because they tend to super slave and they try to do everything all by themselves. When they haven't mastered humans, other people, what happens is this is a very painful pill to swallow, because if it is your gift indeed to master systems, to have systems mastery in the assimilation process, maybe it's multiple systems. I see this a lot with mental projectors, where they're systems mastery, and then they have the way in which the ideal for them is to be able to advise or guide the other is about how do we use our knowledge base or implement our awareness principle so that we can guide or advise the energy of the energy types, particularly the generative people, okay? So that they can build a satisfying world for themselves.